just give you a little basis on how I do my training. I basically reverse engineer what it's like to be in a gunfight, okay? I focus on self-defense for civilians and security teams. So the average statistic for a gunfight is number 333. Average distance is 3 to 5 feet. An average of 2.5 to 3 seconds long. And an average of 3 shots fired. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, you're either dead or alive. Okay? Most people can't even draw their gun in under a second. So you think about how fast a gunfight works. So what I do, I study real life footage of assaults, shootings, capture on video camera, and then I reverse engineer the training to adapt to that type of environment. Okay? One thing you have to understand, when you're in a real life or death situation, your cognitive brain will shut down. Your high functioning motor skills, memory out the window. Your survival instinct kicks in. Adrenaline gushes. You have to train in those types of situations and understand the limitations that we have. I teach instinct shooting. I don't care about hitting bullseyes. That's for target competitions. That's not for what we're doing, okay? If the average gunfight is 3 to 5 feet, why should I be practicing at 20 yards, right? The average person can just put their hand up and hit that target. So, in a real life gunfight, you can't even focus on the front gun sight until at least a couple seconds into the gun battle. So if you're doing, I see guys at the range, like this, literally 10 seconds trying to pull that trigger, trying to get a bullseye. Average gunfight, 2.5 seconds. Okay, so that's the type of training we're going to do today. You're not going to be tactical experts at this. I want to wake you up to the reality of what a true gunfight is and try to make it as realistic as I can. Okay? So we're working with 3 to 5 feet, right? Most important thing you can do is get off the X, they call it, or get off the line of attack. So if this is our average 3 to 5 feet, when you go to pull that gun, I don't got a lot of distance and time to worry about. Especially since I'm a civilian self-defense, I don't even know if he has a gun, right? So you have literally less than a second to make a life or death situation, whether you pull your gun or not. Very, very important. What we're gonna do, so what I recommend is if Adrian's gonna pull the gun, you wanna work your angles. The first, what I recommend is an arc back, okay? Now, when I study gunfights, it's shaving milliseconds off the time it takes you to get a first shot on target. Milliseconds, okay? Now, for somebody that's shooting, to track a target, okay? It's easy to track, if you're right-handed, it's easy to track a target like that, going to your left if you're right-handed, than if you're going to the right. Again, you're talking milliseconds. Like a good sharp shooter, that's really not going to matter much. But your average person, that does make it a little more complicated. So you're just increasing the odds that he will miss you. Okay. So what I recommend, most people are right-handed. What you are going to do is go off to the person's right side if he's a right-handed shooter. Okay. So what I recommend is an arc. Okay. If I just go back, increase the distance, we'll just travel fast and far, right? So that's one direction, but the second one is you want to do a perpendicular. It's kind of like football, right? You do an arc pattern, and you have to judge the depth and the width of the pattern, right? So again, it just makes the shot a little bit more difficult than if we just throw down on each other and boom, now we're both dead, right? What I teach students who's very competent is one-handed shooting. So what we're going to do, we're going to take off the arc like this. Now, so what I recommend is one-handed shooting and getting off that line of attack. What we're going to do is with an arc. Now, to kick the stress up a little bit, we're going to replicate some kind of altercation. Maybe it's like a road rage incident or something. I cut Adrian off. He's pretty pissed off, okay? because again, it's one thing just to do a drill, but it's another thing now you're engaging your mind, you're trying to think of what you're going to say, you got to read his body language, right? If you're carrying a firearm, you better know when you can pull and when you can't. So we're going to represent a real life encounter, so you don't want to get closer to 3 and 5 feet. Can you do me a favor, just put it in the front, make it a little more realistic? Okay, you do have it, all right, good. Yeah, I can barely, because it's black, I can't even really see the impression from here. I would never know he has a gun. Okay, so you're gonna come and you're gonna start mouthing off to me. At some point, I'm gonna try to de-escalate. At some point, he's gonna go for that gun. Now, I always submit 2-3 shots on target and call it a day. Obviously, we don't know if we hit the target. Again, this is close enough range, but we should be pretty accurate. Okay, so we're not going for accuracy. We're trying to getting offline and get shots on target.
Dude, why did you cut me off?
I'm so sorry.
Why did you cut me off?
I didn't see you.
What?
Getting off, okay? Now you're supposed to stay on the center.
Okay.
But you never know. I mean, if I start going too early too, he can follow me. So you don't know. You got to keep reacting. You don't know what you're going to do. You'll find how hard it is when you start having to talk to somebody through and think about all this stuff, right? Okay? Now, what I did when I shot, I pulled that gun, I just started getting shots on target as I tried to get away. Again, this may not be, I mean, you could still die, but it's a lot more realistic to stay in here and trading bullets with each other. Okay? One important thing, why I do one-handed shooting is the profiles. It either hit this target or this target, right? See that? You could very easily miss. Law enforcement, they teach, because they have vests, they'll teach to go more of the square because they got the vest on. We don't have vests on. So I teach this way, okay?